So welcome, period 3. We're going to go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about a few things, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a real life problem, and as students we're going to eventually tomorrow come up with some real life solutions. But part of this class is for English 102 next semester. We're going to be doing a lot of research-based stuff. So we're going to be doing our own research projects. We're going to be working on research. But one of the parts of being and doing research projects is having a problem to solve. And so that's why we're going to start out with this little introduction of how to solve a problem and a real life one. So today's problem and tomorrow's problem and the problem of months and months is going to be figuring out how to solve chronic absenteeism in schools. And when we talk about schools, sometimes we talk about just 9th through 12th. But for this actual problem, this is a problem that goes K through 12. So we want to also think about little kids as we're doing that. So the number one thing we're going to have to do first is define what is chronic absenteeism. So number one, who knows what chronic means? Who can kind of tell us what chronic means, just the word?
Incurable or whatever.
Yeah, like long term, like something that keeps happening over and over long term. So if we're talking about chronic absenteeism, it's something that just keeps happening over and over. So students that are missing school over and over again year after year, okay? So in order to do that, we're going to flip over here. So on your boards, well, first of all, we're going to change groups, okay? So what I want you guys to do is you're going to stand up and you're going to go to your clockwork group, so just rotate 2 down. Okay, so everybody stand up and go 2 seats over. So, okay, all right, so what we're going to do on our board is in a school year, we have 186 days, right? So what I want you silently at your tables, and we'll discuss it once you're finished. We'll do about like 3 minutes on a timer. But if you know that there's 186 days in a school year, then what is your definition of chronic absenteeism? What do you guys think, like you as an individual, think is chronic absenteeism? So like here's how you could write your sentence. Chronic absenteeism is missing blank days in a school year, or this percentage of days of the school year. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to write down on your board how many days do you think is too many to miss and consider chronic absenteeism, and then what percentage of school days would that be? Is it 10%? Is it 50%? Whatever you think, and then we're going to share those out when we're finished. So how many days is too many? What is chronic absenteeism? Your definition. And then what is the percentage? And then one more thing for a prize. I'm going to give you guys a prize if you guess this one. As a class, what percentage do you think in this class has chronic absenteeism? Like how many? So is it 10%? Is it 70%? We have 38 students. Yeah, so what percent do you think is 10% of the class is absent? Or 20 or 30? Thanks. What percentage do you think?
Yeah.
10% is your... That's what you think it is?
This is the only kid that's hit that mark. I don't think anybody else is.
He's the only kid?
No.
What do you guys have? What do you think percentage? I'm not sure basically.
30 days.
45 days.
Do you want to be in the book? How many days?
45.
45?
30 days.
30 days?
Month.
What do you got? 30 days? All right, 45. What do the ladies have? What do you have for chronic absenteeism?
45.
Can I put you?
Hi.
45 days?
Out of 186.
I have the same as 25%.
25% of all the days? What do you have?
I wrote
20 plus days.
I said 50 or more.
10 a semester.
50 or more. That is a lot of days. That's like basic anatomy. But okay. What do you ladies have?
I put 33%.
33% for this class?
Oh no.
Or for in total?
This,
Oh, that just
I'd
like
say
what's chronic?
This class is probably like 25%.
I was shocked by how less absent this class is than all my others.
Wait, I changed it.
I was shocked. This class is a whole different group.
One day a week.
What do you guys have?
One
Chronic is
day is
25
not
days?
chronic absenteeism. No, 1 day a week is because it's
Okay, so then
constant.
how many weeks are we? For her 26.
Yeah, so
I
how many
think
26 days.
So how many? Wait, wait. If we break
And
it down
then
by
break that into percentage. But it's
How many
because
weeks
it's
do you have?
because it's 1 day a week though.
It's because what?
Because it's 1 day a week though.
So 1 day a week you think is okay to
Yeah.
miss?
No, I'm just saying that's what.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Chronic.
Okay. All right, chronic. What do you think, Matt? Yeah, I don't have to put you in the video. What do you? I'm not putting you in the
She's
video.
not my answer, basically.
20 days?
yeah.
20 days is chronic. Okay. All right, we're gonna bring it back, people. Bring it back. All right, so chronic absenteeism. Let's see what we think it. Who has between 40 and 60 days? Who thinks it's between 40 and 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so about a fourth of the class thinks it's more than 30 days is chronic. What about between 20 and 30 days? How many people had that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About another fourth. What else lower did people have? Anybody have? What else did people have that was lower than 20 days? Anyone? So most people think that chronic absenteeism is somewhere between 20 days and above. Okay. Technically, they define chronic absenteeism as 18 days in a school year. That is 2 days every month that you miss. 2 days every month. Okay. So now, based on that number, what percentage of people in this class do you think are already chronically absent? What percent? I was shocked. This class is the lowest so far. So write on your board, what percent do you think, put it big so I can see. What percent of our class is chronically absent? Means you've missed 9 or 8 or less days, 8 or more days. We've already guessed how many. All right, let's see, 60. Whoa, people are not, 12.429%. That was a really specific number, 12.429%. Okay, we got 5%, 20%, 20%. What do you have? 15%, 65%. Ooh, that's a lot. 70, 60, 12, 50. Okay, put your boards down if you have more than 40%. Keep them up if you have less than 40%. Okay, keep your boards up if you have less than 30%. Keep your boards up if you have less than 20%. Okay, in this class, I was shocked that the chronic absenteeism rate is 15%. Who has 15? Oh, yeah, you win. Okay, you get 2 minutes. And listen to this, though. My first hour class. The first hour class is 36%. Second hour is 25%. So maybe by the time we get to third hour, we have shown up to school. Maybe that's why. But first hour was 36%. Second hour was 25%. Now we're at 15%. I don't know. Maybe fourth hour will be 10%. We'll see. What I want you to do now is, now that we've established what chronic absenteeism is, then my computer is like not real fun today. Okay, all right, now that we've got, everybody, now that we've got some things on the board, what I want you to do is I want you to take your top 3 to 5 ideas as a group and then put them on that board. So we're gonna discuss them. Adam's gonna lead us, actually, Adam is. So he's gonna tell us what we're gonna do. So take your 3 best ideas, 3 to 5 from your boards, and then put them on the big board. We're going to talk through them as a class. All right. Okay, people, put your 3 to 5 best ideas up on the board, and then we're going to talk through what is going on in the...
Why are you here? You weren't providing anything for the teachers.
We're regulating the tables. Emily's going. Kaden. Oh, that's true. You don't. Actually, Kaden can go. You're right.
Is it 3 to 5 tables?
Yeah, 3 really good ones. Or at least 2 really good ones. Help him out.
You have 2 of them.
Torrance, who's writing for your table? All right, we got a lot of stuff up on the board. So we're going to talk through, and I'm going to call on people to kind of explain what you were talking about. But I see a bunch of themes, which is good because in the other classes we didn't seem to get as critical analysis. But you guys have a ton of themes up here, which is great. So let's start with there's a few themes that I see: parents, online schools, engagement, phones, and a couple others. So, and mental health, which I think is big. So let's start with talking about the actual school. So somebody up here I thought was pretty interesting. Who's the school has declined in productivity? All right, Cole, can you talk us through that one?
Okay, so I said that because I feel like in even 7th grade, I was learning a lot more than I come to school now and I can just get all A's without even trying. It's just
okay.
School is really easy.
So do you think that maybe this is universal for all of you guys, but do you think that the expectations have fallen after COVID? It doesn't have to be as hard.
Yeah, no, because I remember during COVID, I didn't show up to a single Zoom meeting. I didn't do anything, and my grades dropped 0.5%.
So you don't show up to any school, you don't show up to a single meeting, and you get you went from A's to B?
No, I went from A's to
low A?
A's and B's to A's and B's. So
okay, so there's no consequence to that. Okay, do other people feel that way? That the expectations are much lower than they were prior to COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Yay or nay?
It was more rigorous.
I think so.
Okay, raise your hand if you're yes, I think that we've declined in productivity.
I feel like it's gotten
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what do you think of?
I feel like it was bad at first, the first couple of years after
Uh-huh.
COVID, it was bad, and I think it's getting better.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why things are getting
There's a lot of stuff that has to do with the teachers. So I want to talk through a couple of that. So thank you, Cole. One of them is really interesting because we're going to talk about this tomorrow more. This one just says the education and teachers suck. All right, so who's this lovely one? Which I'm good with. Is that table? Because you're giggling. Was this same before COVID or also is just post-COVID? Post-COVID too. Yeah. Okay, so this one over here kind of matches. If we go over here, I think this is Maddie and Kate's table. They got used to a lack of care during COVID, and then there's no connection between students and teachers. So can you guys explain that with the no connection? Is that online or in person? Maddie and that table back there. Can you explain what happened there?
For the connection part?
Yeah, for the connection.
Well, a little bit of both, but for example, in person, for me at least, you're one of the only teachers that actually does discussion. All my other teachers either go through slides or give us packets and whatnot. And then for online, you were just learning through a screen, so it's kind of impossible to build a connection.
Do you feel like you didn't know your teachers or they didn't know you when you're online?
No.
Okay, so then this idea of you're just going through slides or questions, the idea of actually talking and maybe learning something in here. I want to move that to, somebody okay, here we go. If you have online assignments, you can get an A and you don't need to be present to learn. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Last week we read that story, The Lottery, right? 147 students read, because every class that I've taught today to talk about chronic absenteeism has said you can learn exactly the same thing online and you don't need to be in person with a teacher. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little anecdotal data. What does anecdote mean? Who knows what anecdote means? Short story. Oh, you guys all got it. Short stories. Last class I had a kid who told me it was all about numbers, and he was real confident, but no. It's actually a short story. So the anecdotal data for this class: 147 students read The Lottery. And how many of those students understood that the lottery said that it was a human sacrifice for the harvest? You guys want to take how many people guessed that? Out of 147, how many people got that?
3 maybe.
2. This table and one other, 2 people. Out of 147 people realized that the story was actually a human sacrifice for a harvest. So let me ask you, with that tiny story, there is, I hope, some value to talking through these stories, to doing these kind of things where we're learning and we're speaking and we're critically thinking about what's going on. But I'm with you. If you don't have teachers proving to you that you should sit here, then you're not going to sit here. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow because we're going to talk about why Arizona in our state has one of the worst chronic absenteeism rates in the country. And why does that matter? So we're going to connect those dots. Before we connect those dots, does anyone have any idea why we might have one of the highest? Yeah, Gabby.
Well, there's no money to put into education, so the teachers aren't good, so the students don't want to come.
Right, so if we're ranked 50th out of 50 and the legislators put no money into education, then the teachers aren't valued, then you're going to have not as good of teachers, and that's going to affect whether or not we come to school, right? Because the teachers, according to our friends back here, Drew, that they matter, right? Yeah. Andrew, they matter. Okay, let's talk about, this didn't come up in the other classes, and I'm shocked because I think this might be a number one thing. Over COVID, people developed mental health problems and don't want to go to school. Does anyone, who wrote that? Wants to talk, or does anyone want to talk about it? Torrance, can you talk a little bit about it? Do you think that this is a big problem now? Yeah. I think you're 100% right. The amount of students that now claim that have anxiety or have social anxiety has really gone up. And I think that that's part of it. And that might be part of pandemic life and trying to come out of it. But this is a big problem. The mental health is huge. All right, what else do we have? Let's talk about the parents. Okay, so you guys are seniors, so whether or not you end up at school is kind of on you, right? You can either drive here or hop on a bus. But why for the kindergartners, the first graders, the second graders, the third, those little kids whose parents have to get them ready and put them on a school, why has their absenteeism increased so much? Because we can say, okay, older kids have issues from being in COVID, but why a kid that was never even in a classroom during COVID, why do those parents not bring them to school? I actually don't have